Hi, today I'm going to show you how to paint this cute little puppy dog in a boot. I'll be showing you how to dry brush, how to glaze, and how to transfer your drawing to your canvas to get ready for painting. So all you need for this painting is your primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and that can be cad yellow, cad red, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and sap green, and white. I always try to stick to those colors. It makes it so much easier when I go buy paints. I don't have to worry about picking up way too many paints. The brushes I'm using in this painting are some nice small round brushes here like this, and that will be the smallest brush you can find, a small round brush for small details. So I just picked out 2 or 3 just to be sure. I even have a long liner brush here too, right, just in case we need it for the furry parts, and another little small one. So if you have a few of those around, take them out. And I'm using a flat, this is just a small flat brush, chiseled edge, and also using a filbert. Filbert helps to get around the circle, get around the corners. And I got a bristle brush. You can use a bristle or a synthetic brush to do your background. So that's all the brushes we need for this painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some green on first. Let's kind of make it a mottled look. Okay, so I'm going to put green on first. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to that just so it won't be so dark. And then we're just going to put on some green, just kind of shorter strokes, not the long version like that, but just short strokes like this. Good. Now we'll go and pick up some yellow on our dirty brush, and we'll go in. And we'll just blend those two together, but I still want to be able to see my green and my yellow separated. See? That way you'll get some different values of your green. More yellow. Alright, just put it on there. You don't have to be fussy, but as long as your streaks are not coming through too much, you don't want too many streaks. And some more green again. And green, maybe we'll add a little more white to your green again, because I really don't want that to be too dark. You can try different versions. It's up to you what you want. And green and some yellow. There we go. See how it's all mixing, giving different values of green? Isn't that nice? I'll go over here, just dipping into yellow. I'm going back and forth with yellow and green. Good. Makes a really nice background. You can blend it in by going back and forth a little bit, pretty lightly. I'm going to try a bit of white this time. Put white on my canvas first. Come underneath what you just did and blend it up with the colors that you have there. Because you don't want to have separate lines, okay? It's pretty. Look at that. Nice. That's just your white because you got a dirty brush. Now let's try mixing a bit of green and yellow. But don't mix it completely. There we go. See that? Try different ways, but make sure you don't get everything just in one color. And that's just a matter of putting on one color first and then going in with the second one and not totally blending 2 of them together. But you don't want to have, you want it nice and smooth and soft like you see here. You don't want lines. But as long as everything is wet, you'll get a really nice blend. See, as long as that's wet, you can go right up into that white without destroying it. See? See that? That's coming up pretty nice, actually. I'm going to go back in with some white. I'll lay it over here. Put my white on first this time. Just trying different things. I'll put on my white first. Blend it in with the wet paint. If it's not wet, then don't go over it. Just add more You can also use blending gel. Blending gel will help, or any kind of a flow improver. This one's starting to dry up here now, so I'm going to stay away from that. Add a bit more green and yellow. Good. But now I can go in here because it's still wet. So be careful. Our acrylics are pretty quickly drying. Good. So all I got is perfect. That's not bad. That's a nice little background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just green to my brush, the dark green to my dirty brush. I'm going to add a little bit of a corner up here. And a little bit here. And I find if you do the corners dark, it'll draw the eye to the center where your main object is, okay? So I'm just going to take that, wipe my brush off before it dries, and pull that into what I already have done. And hopefully it's not too dry for you, but just blend it over very lightly. Just blend it over very lightly. You can do that in the beginning if you want, if you can keep it dark in the corner. And that will give you kind of like a, bring it in towards the center. There we go. I like doing that sometimes. Good. So we leave that, and then we'll get ready for our puppy in the boot. Now, as you can see, it's a different background because, like I said, I looked at that background and I found it a bit too dark for my video. So what you're going to do now is you're going to wait for your background to completely dry. Make sure that it's completely dry. So all we have to do to get started on our puppy in the boot is just take your drawing that you did and put it on paper. Okay, so you have your drawing on paper that you drew out, whether you did a freehand or a grid method or whatever way you can possibly get it done. And once you get it on paper and you get it the way you want it, then you're going to transfer your drawing to your canvas. See? So then you have it on there, and then you can paint it, and you just use some carbon paper to transfer your drawing. Okay, and don't worry about the lines, because I had lines on this one here, but as you can see, you can't see the lines anymore because we paint over them. Okay, and that's all you have to do. Just get your drawing transferred to your painting first. And then we'll take it off, and we will get started on our painting. I'll have the pattern ready for you on my Patreon page so that you can, if you can't, or a picture of the puppy in a boot for you so you can draw it out. Now the first place we're going to start are the eyes. So we're going to put in all the darks first. That'll make it so much easier. So I just wanted to put some darks together. I just put some raw umber, that's what I have there. You can use burnt umber, and some ultramarine blue, and some sap green, and just mix it together so that you get a really dark, almost black color. Now you can use black if you like. I'm just going to use some dark colors, just show you how to do some color mixing. Get the smallest brush you can find. Making very thin lines is very difficult with these brushes because you have to have a really fine tip. So we'll take one of our lines and we'll paint over it. So you're going to use your lines as a guide. And after we go through all this, we'll make adjustments. If something doesn't look right or we're not happy with some area, we will adjust it, so don't worry. We'll add some dark in the center here. Over the line, but keep a little bit of a space there for the highlight. Pick up more paint if you need it. A little bit over here. Go over that line there. So pick out the darkest areas first, which are the ones that are almost black. And we'll work on this eye here. So you need a really small, stiff brush. And you just go over the lines that you made so that you can get the eye. And we'll be going back over these to straighten them up if we have any problems. I'm just trying to get the dark lines in first. And then, so have a look around, see what you think are the darkest areas. There we go. Not around. Good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do a really dark brown. So we're going to use some burnt umber. So you can use burnt umber or raw umber or any brown that you have there, because I know not everybody has all the colors that you see on the screens or what other artists are using. So all you have to do, if you have a brown, you can add some blue to it to darken it up. Put all your dark colors together. You can even add a bit of green, a bit of red, and that will darken it up for you. So right now we just want to get a really dark brown. You could add black if you want to your brown to really darken it up if you have a lighter brown. So there are ways around it, not to worry. As long as the final result is what you're looking for. Like I say, not everybody has all the colors, and they can be expensive to buy, so you can easily mix your own colors. So we're just going over the dark lines here. Just want to get some shapes. See? Good. And that way you're taking out the lines that you made. When you drew it out, you probably used carbon paper, maybe you drew it by hand, but draw it on paper first. So that way you'll, if you make mistakes or you can't get the shape you're looking for, especially if you're doing a freehand, put it on paper first and then transfer your drawing to your canvas. So we're getting all the dark areas first. Here we go. Good. This area is really dark. This will give you the shapes. Alright. Nice dark area over here. It's important to have a small brush like this because it'll be very difficult to stay on the lines, especially the small lines around the eyes, if your brush is way too big. Sometimes even with the small brush, if you push too hard, you're going to get those thick lines. See what I got there? I just pushed a little too hard. down around there. Alright, let's get around this area here. And underneath the chin we have this area. If you got it all drawn out, you shouldn't have too much of a problem finding where everything is. Something like this is very difficult to draw. It's nice to have a good drawing. That will make it much easier for you to paint. So we'll get underneath here. And we have a shadow. We'll get that shadow in now. Comes down to about here. Just fill it in. And we will be adjusting some of these shadows. The main thing is to get it all in place first, and then you can make adjustments and straighten up things that need to be fixed up. Once you get your drawing done and you can put in the shadows, put all the dark areas in first, especially when you're doing animals, portraits. It's good to get the darks in first so you can see where everything is going. Good. So I'm still working on shadow area. There we go. Good. Okay, now for the dog. The dog has kind of almost a skin tone color, but a little bit of an orange hint. So what I did was I took my red and my yellow and made an orange. Okay, could be cad red, cad yellow, you know, whatever you have there. Like I said, don't get too caught up in if you don't have the right colors. You can try different color yellows, different color reds. Okay, so I took my yellow and I add a little bit of red because red is very strong, so it could overpower, and then you end up with a pinkish, peachy color if it's too much red. So a little bit more red, and then we can add a little bit of brown, and then we'll add some white. Get that kind of a skin tone look, but a little orange flavor to it. So it's too yellow. And a bit more red. So mix the colors until you're happy with the color that you got. But those are the main colors that you would use to get that orangey, creamy color. Let's see if that works. If that don't work, we will certainly add more. So mixing colors takes a few minutes, you know, but now mine is kind of transparent and it's dark, so I'm going to add more white to my color there. So adjust your color until you get the color you're looking for. Alright, a little better. It's a little better. This is going to be your underpainting, okay? Your underpainting for your dog, because I'm going to do highlights. You may even do a glaze. Show you how to do a glaze. Alright, so let's get that on there first. Now you have your darks on, so you can go around those. Good. See, it's not that hard. And you can take your time. You can take your time, get your colors mixed properly. As long as you use those colors that I just talked about, the red, yellow, to make orange, and then you add some brown then to get it into a creamy color, and add white to increase the value. So, good. So the first thing you're going to do is get on the basic color, and then you can add your shadows, other shadows after you get this done. But as long as you get your darks out first, so you know where the eye is. There we go. So even though this is just a small little, now this is a small little painting, I'm using 9 by 12 canvas. So if you use a really big canvas, you're going to need to make a bigger drawing. So fit your drawing to your canvas size. If your canvas is too big, then your puppy in the boot will look really tiny. They have just nothing but background. See, now that paint dried, so even though I'm painting over some of it, it's still showing through. See, it's coming along. If you do your background painting and you're mixing up your paints, try to make a large batch so that when you go back in, it won't be too many different colors trying to match it up again. If you end up running out of paint and you have to try to match up again, it's okay as long as you're close, because you're going to be needing shadows and highlights anyway. As long as you're close, don't worry about it getting exactly the same. So you got kind of a nice little orangey cream color going on there. It's a nice color. There we go. Good. See now how you can see the shape of the dog, the puppy. Try to watch your lines there. They were dark lines. Okay, we'll paint those into dark colors. Missed that spot. Make sure all the dark areas get painted first. That way you don't lose them if you end up painting over them by accident. Okay. So, I'll try and keep those because I didn't paint them in yet. Good. Get it on there. This may need 2 coats. Our second coat will be a glaze so that I can show you how to glaze. Alright, look what we did. It's not too bad. So when you do glazes, make sure that your underpainting that you did the first coat is dry. Good. You only keep wet on wet when you're blending. See? So, let's paint those little paws. So just go into your dark brown. With your little tiny brush. And paint this area here, just so you can see where the paws are. Good. Now we'll put that over here. Gonna go around here, and this one, and this one. So we'll go back over the lines. Go over the lines. Right, and go over this line. And this one. And that one. While we're waiting for this little rascal to dry, let's start on the boot. Now the boot is a blue color. So the darkest color is the blue boot, right? See it? So what you're going to do is just take the basic color first, worry about the highlights and the shadows later, and let's just put the blue on first, okay? That will be so much easier than trying to get everything done at the one time. So I'm just going to take some of my ultramarine blue, and I'm going to just paint that boot. Good, see? So easy. Well, that part is easy. I tell you, it is easy to get the basic colors on, you know. The hardest part is getting the shadows and the highlights to get to work. That's the hardest part for me anyway. Maybe that's the easy part for you guys, but for me it's getting the shadows and the highlights in the right areas to mix in and look good with the underpainting or the main color. That's what I find. I'm just using a flat brush, and my flat brush is a filbert, but you can use a flat. I like using a filbert because I can get around those circles, you know, because the filbert is round on top, see? So, see, you have roundness on top, but flat works too. Flat chiseled edge, okay? Make sure it's chiseled edge. Chiseled edge would make it so much easier to get around those lines. Bristles, they just go all over the place. They're great for bushes and trees and things like that. But I'll explain to you that so we'll do another coat over this to make it blend it out really nice. Right now we just want to fill it in. Alright. Just fill it in. I use ultramarine blue a lot because it's a really nice dark blue, and I just really like it's nice and thick. I like ultramarine blue. I'm going to do another video too where I'm going to compare, like a lot of people ask me, you know, what brands are the best to use, what should I buy, and things like that, color paints and things like that. Well, I have several different brands of paints here, and what I'm going to do in my next video is I'm going to show you, compare different brands and the different grades and pigments, and that way you can see the difference in color. So if I show you two reds, it might be two CAD reds, but a different brand, and you'll be able to see the difference. So when I get that done, I don't have it done yet. I may have it done down the road. As you're looking at this, probably a year from now or 6 months from now. But as of today, July 19th, 2018, I don't have it done, but I will have it done soon, and then I'll put links in some of my videos and cards and things so that you can find them. You should also get notified too if you subscribe, if you want to get all my tips and tricks, and you should be able to get all that when you. If you don't get notified, you can always email me at AllisonPryor@yahoo.com, and I will send you links to some new videos that are coming up. I'll even send you, if you go to my Patreon page, I will have a link there for anybody who goes to my Patreon page, and you'll be able to get like full lessons and early access. If you don't want to go there, just email me and I will send you a link. I'll send you links to my paintings that you can't find now. So I want everybody to have, there's no sense in me doing these, nobody can see them, but I have over 20,000 subscribers, and so I'm sure a few of those people get notified. I'm not sure if everybody gets notified, but I have a lot of people. I'm really happy to share any tips and tricks that I have. Anything at all that can help you. You can even email me and ask me questions, show me your paintings, whatever. I love hearing from you. All right. So we're getting all the boot painted in with just ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue. I could time lapse it. If you want, I can time lapse some of these videos. I don't want to time lapse because I say that I teach you step by step in real time. But I'm thinking for those of you who would like just not to have to watch me paint something like this, that you know what I'm doing. You can also fast forward yourself if you want to, but I may do some time lapse videos of ones I already have done, and that way you can quickly go through them to see, maybe you'll be able to see, okay, well, I like that, so I'm going to go and get the real-time video. So I was thinking that might be a good idea. I was thinking maybe, because I want to make it as easy as I can for you guys to be able to find my videos and look them up. So I think I'll do some of those. So they'll only be time lapsed only because it'll give you an idea if you want to actually go see the full painting step by step. Okay, so you'll have a time lapse to decide, and you'll have the real full and I may have some full of the full videos. Actually, the full videos, yeah, I have full lessons in one video, and they're over an hour long. I have some of those in my Patreon page and some on my YouTube page. And then I have these like I'm doing here, step by step, separated lessons, individual lessons. Okay, so you have lots of options. You don't have just one option. Some paintings I see on YouTube, they're just time-lapse and that's it. You don't see anything else, and you know, it's fine. It's great to have a variety of things going on YouTube. I've learned a lot from some amazing artists on YouTube. Yes, I have. I would love to mention her name, but I don't know if I need permission. I got permission from the Bob Ross to mention his name and do some paintings that Bob Ross had inspired me, so I have that there. Yep. I checked with him first to make sure it's okay to mention his name, and they said go ahead and mention his name, and it's okay. So it's always good to check first before you do anything. If you're a YouTuber, so much to do with copyright, and it gets scary, you know, if you even sometimes accidentally use somebody, you know, something from somebody else's or whatever, and you don't have permission and you think you do, or you think it's okay. So make sure you just check and you know, do some research and make sure that that it's okay, right? So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to do a second coat. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to add some burnt umber to my blue. Where are you? I'll lay it. Burnt umber to my blue to gray it up. I want gray this time. So burnt umber and and a brown. Burnt umber and ultramarine blue makes a really nice. You can even add some yellow too if you want. Just to get a gray color. Oh, that's messing in with it there. Get a gray color. See, it's gray. There we go. Good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to paint. I'm going to paint this bottom of the boot. That'll be your gray. See the gray? See how that changed just by adding the ultramarine blue with the burnt umber and maybe a bit of yellow if you want, and a bit of red even. You know, the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, will make a nice brown. Make a nice brown. But ultramarine blue and burnt umber will make a nice gray. Try to leave a little tiny bit of space there because I'm going to be putting highlights there. But it's okay to cover it up because we'll just go back and put the highlights on after. See? So if you see paintings, videos that I do, tutorials, and they're time-lapsed, that's only just to show you. I also do some previews of a upcoming painting, just so you can look at it and say, you know, do I want to learn how to paint that? Because you don't want to waste your time. There's so many videos out there. You don't want to waste your time going through the video to see if it's what you're looking for. So I'll have different videos out for you. On the one painting, I could have a preview, a time lapse, a full painting, full lesson, and step-by-step lessons. And that could be on just the one video, so you'll have lots of options, okay? You'll have lots of options. You won't be stuck with just the one option, because sometimes I get people say, I can't find all your lessons. So I thought the best thing to do is and I also have set lists. So a set list of my videos, that way it's easier to find too. Good. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow under here. So I just put the ultramarine blue and my brown and a bit of red, I think. Purple it up a small bit. Let's try that. If the shadow is too bright, you can always add a bit of black or ultramarine blue and burnt umber and make a nice, really dark grayish black color. I'll put a little bit of a shadow in here underneath the boot. Alright. Just a little bit of shadow. Good. And also, when you're following along to do a painting like this one, you can also do so much and look at the video. So say you're doing a shadow. So you look at what I'm doing here on the shadow, the colors that I mixed and brush I used, and then put me on pause and then do that part. And then come back and do the next part. Okay? And sometimes you have to repeat. You have to go back and forth. That's how I did them when I was painting along with different artists on YouTube. So let's give that boot one more coat. Now, as long as it's dry, make sure it's dry before you give it a second coat. Good. Good, good. Needs a second coat desperately. Second coat of ultramarine blue. This is your base coat. Get it ready for your highlights and your shadows. Now, when you're painting and following along, it don't have to be exactly like mine or anybody else's. If your colors come out differently, or you want to change that boot to red or another color, you know, you can do that too. You can have the puppy dog a different color. Maybe you have a puppy dog and you want it to look more like yours. Good. Trying to get that edge there. Make sure you get a chiseled edge. Nice and chiseled. That way you should be able to get it. Alright. There we go. Good. Some more here. You go up against that line. It's a lot of painting for one video, isn't it? Well, this video here is going to be in lessons. As you notice, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if I do this one as a lesson 1, I'll have a lesson 1. I may have 5 or 6 lessons, okay? So I'll have 5 or 6 lessons, and lesson 1 may be up on Monday, lesson 2 may be on Wednesday. That will give you a chance to spend, you know, enough time to practice in your first lesson and get it the way you want it. Take your time. No need to do everything all in one day. You know, you can even do a couple of different paintings in one, you know, as you're waiting for the lesson to come up, you can start another painting. You get lots done. And then I'll have it in a set list and eventually a time lapse for you, or a preview. See if I think a time lapse might be good, because then you wouldn't have to watch me do this. Just painting that boot would take me a half an hour, maybe longer. So, you know, so then I could time lapse it for you, and then you can just see what I did. As long as you know what brush I used and what color paint I used and how we got the drawing done. As for painting it, you don't need to watch me just keep painting and painting. You can certainly figure that out, right? So keep on painting. There's a little bit up here. Okay, get a nice chiseled edge to your brush. If this brush is too big, then just go get another brush. Okay, let's see. Now we'll take, so I got 2 coats on the boot done. Now what we'll do is, we will take all these little white lines and we will paint those white. With maybe we'll, let's just paint them white. I was thinking about adding some shadow color, but we can do that after. So let's get those white lines in there, just a small round brush. Good. These lines here, these 2 little lines here, they're brown. So you look at your reference photo and you pick out the colors. Okay? So, good. Alright. This is just a little trim on your boot. I'm going to go over these because this line here that's separated, that should be blue. So you can always go back and correct things and check things out, make sure everything's okay. There we go. So if I do any time-lapse videos to help you make your decisions on what paintings you want to look at, I won't be talking in them or anything. So I'll probably try and put a little bit of decent music in there. Okay, that was a mistake here. That's a mistake. No, no. That was a mistake. So I'm going to take a clean brush. And I'm going to put water on it and see if I can get rid of that before it dries. If it dries, you're out of luck. So I'll just try with a clean bristle brush. There has been no paint on it whatsoever. Scrub at it and see if I can get that off. Just to show you. I'm only doing this to show you. See? Damp brush. No paint on it whatsoever. You make a mistake. As long as the paint is still wet, you can get rid of it. Good. Everything comes up. I like to be able to show you. Okay, so you have another line right here. Just fill that in. There we go. Okay, so just fill all this area in here. And you should be able to still see some of the lines coming through there. Right down. Good. And we'll fill in this one over here. Just fill it in. See, if you do your basic colors first, that way you get all your shapes done, and then your highlights and your shadows can come next. It's almost like the three-step method that I teach, right? So I do teach a three-step method. I have some on my videos there. And so we'll just go with this one here, like that. And I think we got all the whites in that I can see. All right. So I see over here in this corner, I finish this over here. It's blue, ultramarine blue. Good, and then you're going to put your little bit of white in the corner there too. It's also a little bit of blue right here. Alright, so you go over here like that, and then you have shadow. That's fine, just pick out the spots that you think need it. I'm going to go back in here a little bit just to get a little closer to that line. Good, there we go. Now, alright. So let's take our burnt umber with our small brush, small round brush. Smaller the area, the smaller the brush, and paint in these little laces. All right. That much done. There's another one here that I painted over, so we'll just put that in. Good. And we will paint another one. Good. And there's another one right here. So just get that done. So take your ultramarine blue and your small brush again. We'll put in some of these little shadows to give that oh yeah. So we'll put that, we'll have a small round brush, and we'll put in some of these little shadows here so we can separate those lines there. Good. There we go. Good. There's some here too. Just bring them in around like that. Alright, so we'll just keep doing that. And some up here too. Shadow areas to bring it out. the boot around that corner. And so we'll just fill in all the spots that we need. Anything you left out. And up here. So you just go back over and look and see what you missed. Now take your burnt umber and fill in that shadow there if you lost it, which I did. Still using my little round brush. Good. Darken up some of these areas. There we go. Any touch-ups you need. Good. I'm going to keep using my, let's see. I'm going to use my small brown brush, round brush. And I'm going to add some white and a little tiny bit of brown. Not too much because I want to have nice highlights on the top of the dog's head there. The puppy's head. So I'm just going to take this little bits and I'm going to tap on some of these highlights. Give it a bit of a furry look. Alright, just tapping. Tap over that line to make it disappear. Tap. Good. Let's tap on some highlights. So I'm just going to go around where we see the highlights. Just want to get some of that on for now, where I think the highlights might be. Alright, come over to the top of the ear. Alright, and then I think it has a little bit over here. Good. A little bit on top of here. So get your highlights on as much as you can. And then just tap away. Good. Go get some more white. Don't need much brown this time. And we'll add the little bit of fur that's down here. Just putting it on and pulling it up a little bit. Just a little bit there. Good. So we want to add some shadow. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to take some of my burnt umber and I'm going to add a little bit of my orangey color to it. And then I'm going to use that for a shadow color around this part here. Let's see. Let's get that out there so you can see it. See in between the eyes there? Let's try and get that little shadow area there. So we will go between the eyes. So it's there. So I'm just going to, let's see. Let's just pull up some. I'm going to go right across just to see where I'm going. And I'm going to pull up. Alright. Pull up a little round brush. Good. Now what we're going to do next is, because it's pretty dark, we don't want it to be too dark like that, I'm going to add a bit of white to my brush. And I'm going to go back in, lighten that up a little. Lighten up a little, not a lot. So if you end up too light, go back in and get some more brown. It's a back and forth thing. Back and forth till you get what you're looking for. Alright, so keep doing that till we get what we're looking for. Good. Alright, so it gives a bit of a, gets the shape. Pull it up into your white if the white is still wet. Good. So go back and forth with a little bit of white, a little bit of brown, your brownish color, just to, not too much paint on your brush. Just to get that to blend nicely with what's going on top there. Like I say, you have to go back and forth. I'm just scrubbing that in a little bit. I'm going to come around the side here with my light color. There we go. Good. Try to get some shadows in so we get some shape. Add a little more white so that it's not too brown. A little bit of brown added to it just to get that hint of, probably a little more. Pull it down towards here, around the eye, clean up that edge there, and down around here, and some more of your creamy color, bit of brown, bit of white. Good. Make adjustments if you need them. Just sort of go into what you just did to get that shadow to move around. A bit down here. Good. Just trying to get some shadows on there. See how the face is starting to come alive there now. Good. A little more white, no more brown, and we will, not too much white on your brush. You don't want to have totally white strokes on there. A little bit of highlight here. Alright. Looks a little funny there now, but it takes time to get everything to work the way you want it. We get a little bit of highlight here, right here. All right. We're getting there. I'm going into my burnt umber with my brush. I cleaned off my white and I'm going to put a little shadow up here. There we go. Clean up this little nostril. Good. And I'm going to clean off my brush. And I'm going to pull that wet paint up into the nostril, into the nose. That's good. Pull that down to the side a little bit. Pull that down into the nose a little bit just to get some shapes. Good. So now with our small brush again, we will go into our burnt umber and our little bit of orangey color. So, burnt umber and our orangey color and some white. Alright, and we are going to put on some of these little shadows. We want to get rid of those lines, so you just go over those and pull in. Put some shadow on there. Good. And we'll pull that up there a little bit. And here. And under here, and then we'll pull that up, and we will, when you go around that line, just take it and pull it up. So once you get that line on there, go around the line and then just pull it up. So you put your shadow color down around here in this area. When you go down around the line, then you can just pull it up. Around the line and pull up. Around the line and pull up. And same over here. Good. So we darken that up here. And here. And we will go around and around, pull up, get those shadows, and here. Good. Some more burnt umber to go in here. And some over here. So we are going to put some more little lines in here for shadows of the fur. Just going to lay that in there, and I'm going to lay this one in here. Good, and a little bit here. And I got a bit of a shadow under the neck here. There we go. A little bit of shadow here. Keep an eye out for your shadows. Shadows. Shadow here. So we're working with burnt umber and some of the orange color. When we want to lighten up, just add white. And when you want to darken it, just keep the burnt umber and the orangey colors. Just go in different places that I think need some extra shadow. I'm going to take this one here on the side of what I already did, and I'm going to leave that dark line, but I'm going to go on the side of that with my lighter shadow. Go around there. There we go. A little bit here. Alright. Pick up paint when you need it. And a little bit of a shadow in here. Let's see what else. Over here we got another one. So I'm going to go on the top of that line, come away from that dark line that you already have there. Don't go over it. And just go on the side. Give it a nice shadow. And on this side here, the shadow. Maybe just pull it in a little bit. Some more paint. Good. If you need to add a little bit of water to get your paint to move, do that too. Good. So, just making adjustments. Like I said, I can do a faster version of this, so you don't have to just sit there and watch, or you follow along with me, it's fine. That'll help. Try to make it as easy as I can. It's a little bit of a tedious painting, but maybe you'll get some steps out of this that will help you use it in your other paintings. Main thing is to look for your shadows. Get your main colors down first, like the boot and the basic color for the dog, and then you can lay all your shadows and highlights on top. That'll make it a little easier for you, okay? And figure out where you think you might like the shadows. I think the shadows are on the edges here. Will give it more of a round look. It'll add depth and dimension to your painting. It'll make it look sort of realistic, I guess you call it. It is a painting, so it's not going to, I don't want it to look like a photograph anyway. I want to do my own thing. Good. There we go. I'm just putting in shadows. Now, some shadow on the edge here. See, whenever you're doing anything round, or you want it to look it's got a round look to it, you have the edges darker and the center lighter. Oh, good. It's a little bit of shadow here. All right. Now with your burnt umber with a little bit of red added to it, a little bit of yellow, just trying to get some color for the fur. So I'm going to add, like I got a bit of red there, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to my burnt umber and red, and I'm going to add some white. Let's see if I can get nice little highlights. So we'll highlight this area. Same brush. More white. There we go. Don't go over that line, just pull a few little lines out over it to give it a furry look. There we go. So those dark lines that you put in, just go around those, don't take them out. A little bit down here. You can tap at it or pull out straight lines. A little bit over here. Pull down over those lines, don't make them disappear. See, it gives it a bit of a furry look there, see? Good. Pull up a few into that one there, give it a bit of a furry look. Let's see, let's see. Okay, we'll go with our darker color here and pull in a few highlights and lowlights and highlights. So if you go back and forth with these colors, you'll get some nice results. Coming along. So we have some, I'm just going to tap on a few little lights. I'm going to get rid of that line there, and I'm going to tap on that. And here, get a bit more white so that it'll stand out for highlights. Alright. You might have to go back over this every now and then until you get what you're looking for. A little more white. Like I say, don't get rid of that, just tap over it. If that's too light, just go back in and get some more of your brown color. Good, and we'll go down here. Start on the edge helps. Just tapping on some of those lights. Go back and forth. Now if you can find an easier way to do this, if it's easier for you, you find something else that's a little easier, because I'm trying to show you in little steps. Sometimes even these little steps can be a little hard. A little bit of shadow up here, or a highlight here. And a highlight here. Alright. What else we have here? Let's see. A little bit of a highlight in here. And here. Just make little taps at it because I don't want to lose my underpainting also. Just giving it a little bit of a furry look here. Like I said, I don't want to lose everything I already did. So I'll just tap at it so what's underneath will come through. And it will make it look a little bit of like fur. Maybe I'll pull down a few little lines here. And I'll put a highlight here. And here. Whoops. There you are. There and there and there. Some highlights. See? Highlights and dark lights brings it out. Okay, so I think we need a few more highlights up here. So we'll go back and forth and see where we need the lights more. Good, and then we will go into, let's see, let's darken that up again. Add a bit of yellow and red again. Kind of a reddish orangey color. And let's try that. See what we can do with that. Just put some of these little, it's too dark. I'm going to add some white to that. You have to make adjustments. Good. Just tapping on, because like I said, I don't want to lose anything. I already did. Just trying to get the highlights and lowlights to work with each other. And we have some fur coming out over here. This is a bit of a furry look. And over here. If you lose that line, if you put on too much, just put the line back in, okay? See, if you put these little strokes over the dark line, see, it gives a furry look. See? Same with over here. There we go. And I'm having a look around to see what else I can do to help this look even better. So you may need hours and hours of piddling and fiddling with it. I'm going to show you just the basic steps, and then you can, like I say, take hours, take as much time as you need then to do any corrections. But based on these techniques, you should be able to get a nice little puppy. Let's try the ear. Give it a little furry look by just pulling on some of these. Take out that line. Got that line and pull. Maybe a little more white. And we'll pull in some of these lighter lines. See? It gives it a little bit of a furry look, see? And then we'll try this one over here. Now, let's see what else we need to do. We got a little bit of a highlight over here. A bit more white. Lighten up that color. And we will pull in. Still needs more light. Okay, I'm getting kind of white there now because I want to be able to see it. Good. A highlight there, a little bit of highlight here. A little bit here. I also have around the eyes some white. And down here. And here. And in here. Like I say, if you lose your line, we'll put it back. And up here. You might say, how do you know where to put the lights? Well, just look at your reference photo. Pick out all the lights and the darks. Alright, so I'm going to pick out some other colors. So as you can see around the nose part, there's a little bit of a pinkish color. So we'll just add those. The colors in the other painting I did are a little different. But you know, if you paint this also yourself 2 or 3 times, it's not going to be exactly the same. It's almost impossible to get. I'm going to add a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. Get kind of a purplish color. And then I'm going to add some white to that, brighten it up to increase the value. White helps change the values of a color. And And we're going to add that little bit of pinkish color right here. And here. See? Don't think there's too much more of that there. Change this up a little bit here now soon. Alright, we're getting there. He's coming along, or she, he, puppy. It's coming along. I say it needs a bit of work. Needs to keep working at it until you get what you're looking for. We'll keep working at it. I'm going to fix up this area here. I got a longer liner brush this time. I find that the shorter one's pretty good, but I'm going to get that beigey color lightened up, and I'm going to try and add a few little strokes of paint here just to give it some shape. And there we go. Shape that up a bit better. Get some shapes and shadows going on. Good. Whoops. Whenever you hear me say whoops, you know I'm after folding up something. Alright. So, I'm going to get more white. Make it nice and bright here. Just make little strokes or little taps. And we don't want to lose that little shadow there in the middle, so I'm going to add more of my burnt umber and a little bit of red. Let's see. A little bit of burnt umber and red, that should do it. And put that back in there. That came down here around this area. Now, there we go. Good. If you want it even darker, just to really put a little bit of shadows in there and make sure it looks, this part here should look a little darker because we want to get that nice little dent in the nose, you know, in the shape of the face. So that part there should be darker than that top part. Right, that's better. Just little flicks. That's better. Okay, go into your burnt umber and shape this up here. Thicken it up a little bit more for shadow. Alright, teeth. Alright, shadow that up there. That's better. And we're going to lighten up that burnt umber with that creamy color, and we're going to add a few little dots like that, like that. Just tap it on. Good. If you need a darker area, just add a little more burnt umber. Like I say, we don't have burnt umber. Just use whatever brown you have there, but as long as it's dark. And if it's not dark, just add a little bit of black or blue to it to darken it up. Good. Add a little bit of white to your brush, even though it's dirty. Just add a bit of white to your brush, and just when you add white, then just go into your colors that you've been using, and let's go and put a little bit of highlight around what we just did. Okay, we need a bit more white. Just go get it. All right. So I'm trying to make it furry looking too, right? A little bit of shadow here, a little bit of highlight there, and just trying to see how you're having to go back and forth with shadows and highlights. Like I say, it's a little more complicated than if you just threw on some paint, and you know, some paintings that we do are pretty simple. But this one here, I find portraits, I have a portrait painting out there of a pretty face, and same thing, it's a lot of picking and trying to figure things out, going back and forth, you know. And if you fool up, you can always just go back to the basic color, okay? Try not to get too frustrated. All right. So I think the puppy is coming along. So we'll have to put some blue in the eyes. First of all, we'll take a bit of burnt umber on our long liner brush, and we'll just put a little bit of a line down here underneath that little bit of highlight we did. Good. And we will pick up some blue, ultramarine blue, and we'll put that in the eye, because the eyes are kind of bluish color. There we go. A little bit of blue in the eyes. We'll leave a little bit of highlight there. Just go in and get some white. Clean off your brush a little bit and go get some white and just add a little bit of highlight in here. Here. And we need to outline that. Wipe off your brush. Let's highlight that a little bit underneath here. Here. See, the eye's coming to life now. Pick up a little bit of burnt umber and let's outline that eye a little bit so we can see. These little lines that are there, they're kind of thickening up the eyebrows. Thicken up your eyebrows. The boot, right now we're going to dry brush. So for dry brushing, what we will do is we will take a clean brush, bristle, it's about a size 8, and see, nice and hard bristles on it there. And we will dip it in white, a tiny bit of blue. We don't want it too chalky looking. And we want to, all I'm doing is taking my white and add a tiny bit of blue to it, as you can see. And then I'm going to wipe it off in my tissue. I'm just going to take all that paint off as much as I can. Alright, and I'm going to take what's left on my brush and start scrubbing. First of all, I'm not going to push too hard because I want to see how much paint's going to come off. And I'm just going to scrub that around. Good. All right. A little bit over here. And if it's too much, just wipe off your brush again. Just wipe it off. That's what I just did. And what's left over on your brush, you just scrub it around. And the less that's on your brush, the better you can work with it, okay? Now wipe off your brush again even more. See if you can get all of the paint off it, basically. Scrub it into your tissue and then move it around a little bit more. Tissue came off. See, and you get that nice soft smoky look. You can also use this technique for fog, smoke, mist, clouds. See, once you learn a technique, you can certainly use it in lots of your paintings. Let's go over here. I'm not going to reload yet. I'm going to see what's left over my brush. I'm going to go over here. Good. I'm just going to I'm going to skip over an area so we can keep some shadow. See all the highlights you can get from just that little tiny bit of paint on your brush? Skipping over. See, that keeps that shadow there now, see? Makes it so much easier. Just scrubbing away. Very little paint on my brush. It's only what's left over. Good. See how it gives that nice. And here, around. We want to keep those shadows. It's an easy way to do shadows, isn't it? I'll show you. See? That was all dry brushed. There's your shadows. Good. Now let's see how much more we got left on our brush here before we have to reload again. Good, we've still got lots there. Scrub away. Make sure you keep some of your shadows. Good. And the back of the heel. Now, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I don't think we need much more there. If you go in and try and lighten it up again more, you might end up using too much paint, and then you're going to have to go back and repaint the boot again. Just make sure, even if you have to test it out on another piece of cardboard or something, test it out and see how much paint's coming off your brush. Alright. So now that there's hardly any paint on your brush, you can just touch up some areas that you think need more. There we go. I think that's good. And a little bit across the top here. Because this paint up here is dry, you won't bother that. All right, I think that is good. So take your, well, let's take a filbert brush and try putting more dark shadows. Okay, so we don't need much here. We just need to clean up that edge there by the looks of it. But we're going to take, let's see, some ultramarine blue. I really need to darken that up. Some ultramarine blue and some of your burnt umber. Mix it together, get a really dark color. If you need to get it darker, just go in and get some more. Go get some black to add to it. If you can't get it dark enough, try adding a little bit of red to darken it up a bit more. You think red would, you think it would lighten it up, wouldn't you? But all these colors work together and make a really nice dark color. So I'm just going to put a bit of shadow down around here. Alright, See? Isn't that nice? It makes it so much. All these little things, little details, and really add to your paintings. Good. And these up here are pretty good. We don't need to do much with those shadows because they're already there, so I don't think we need to do much with those. Let's see. We're good. Good. Maybe a little bit more here between these. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, and what else? Let's see. Oh, I know. How about we put some on the edges here? We got a shadow on these edges here. That will straighten those up. And a shadow let's see. A shadow underneath that. And around the edges. So all around these edges here we'll put a little shadow. And that'll straighten up what you got down there. Good. Here. Just look at your reference photo and see where the shadows are. Alright. Here. And underneath here. Alright, I think that's that. See the difference though? How nice that makes it look? Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to highlight that bottom of that boot there. So take your bristle brush again and same deal, a bit of white, a little bit of blue, and wipe it off on your tissue so it's hardly anything on there. Alright, and then we're going to scrub on, I'm very gently touching the boot. So we're going to bends in here a little bit and comes, let's see, comes in here. See where, get that shape. So over here, bends out again a little bit here. Alright. It's got a bit of a dip here to make it look, give it that shape, right? So the dip there and then the highlights here. Then you got a little bit of highlight coming over here, the very tip of your brush. Let's put that on there, and a little bit down here about a shadow. Might need a little more white paint, not much. A bit of light there. Just touching and pulling so that it's not too much of a straight line, just so that it's kind of not too straight looking. Where else? How about right here? Make that into a highlight. I'll fix that there in a second. And then we'll have a little bit of highlight here. highlight here on this edge might be a little brighter, so I'll just add a little bit more white. I might need to go in and get a, I'm going to get a smaller brush. Okay, I'm going to get my filbert. Make sure it's clean. Add a little bit of white. And I'm going to highlight this edge here. There we go. And here. Alright, so I'm going to add a little dark color to that because I need to break it up a little bit. It's a bit too much. See how I can fix things? Just fix it up. That's a bit better. Okay, so make sure we have nice and dark here. So we have that little bend in there. There we go. And make sure your shadows are nice and dark. Like I said, if you have to go get a bit of black to add with your blue and brown, and go ahead and do that. Alright, we're getting there. We're almost finished. See something you don't like, just fix it. Right. This shadow down here, I'd like to have that a bit darker, you know. I'm just going to add brown and blue and a bit of red. And I'm going to straighten that shadow up a little bit. Good. Just to make it look like a shadow. There we go. Alright, so I noticed here we don't have this filled in, so we'll do that. We're almost to the end of it now, so don't go anywhere yet. I know. Just put me on pause if you get tired. Don't leave me. Don't leave me here by myself. Please. Alright, so I'm going to put some of these little lines in here. Just to make it look like they're shadows of the decoration on the boot. Alright, so that's that. A few more little touch-ups now, and I will let you go and try this, or if you're already following along with me. If you have any problems, let me know. Like I said, it is a bit tedious, and a little bit, you know, back and forth, but if you work at it, you should get a cute little puppy in a boot. Puppy dog in a boot. I think it's coming along pretty good, actually. As long as you get the highlights and all the different things and the shadows and shading. See how it brings it to life? A few more touch-ups and then I will let you go. Alright. So this part here and these parts, we're going to highlight those and take a little bit of white. Pick up a little bit of beige color, or that color that you're using for the dog. And on your little liner brush, and all you have to do is keep your dark underneath, but just highlight the top, okay? Highlight the top there, so that brings it out a little bit. And this one here, we'll just highlight the top. And we have a shadow there, so I'll fix that. And then we have another little, this one's underneath. I'm just going to put that little shadow in there. I keep calling it shadow, but it's actually a highlight. Keep your shadow. Alright, that's good. Now, so let's make our shadow here. We have a shadow right here. It's coming right out into the boot. You may not be able to see it. And I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow around this corner here and in here, just to bring it out a bit more. Alright. And let's see where else. Let's see. It's okay. I think we're doing good. I think. What else do we need to do to clean this up a little bit? I think everything's looking good. These here, I think I'm going to do a glaze on those. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We'll take a flat brush or a filbert, doesn't matter, and we will put a little glaze on those that decoration. So I'm just going to put blue and let's see, white. I don't think I'm going to add any more colors. I think we'll just stick with the blue and white for now. And in order to make that see-through, because we don't want to lose what we already saw, dip your brush into water. Don't bother to clean it off. Let it drip. Pick up some of that there so that you can see through it. So it's transparent. And then go over this with that glaze. There we go. And see, even if you go into the boot, what you already have done won't matter because it won't cover up it. It won't cover that up. Alright, so glazes are great because you get to keep everything that you already did. All you're doing is enhancing the color or toning down the color or changing color a little bit. So that's a good thing. Glazes are really nice. See? So we didn't do much. We just toned down the white a little bit. And when that dries, we want a little bit of white. If you want to highlight some of those, you can just add little tiny bits of white here and there. Little taps of white. So there's our puppy dog in a boot.